Welcome to what we're calling Kids in the Kitchen. And one of the ways that we celebrate fall at the Cooperative Extension Office is to invite kids in to cook some of this season's favorite foods. Now, we are featuring a couple today that both of these girls really like. And what are they? What are we going to be preparing today?
Quesadillas and Muffins.
And what's in them? What?
Apple and pumpkin.
Apple and pumpkin. So I'd like to introduce my assistant chefs here. This is Tekulve.
Hello.
And she's age 10. And we have Juliet Lester, age 6. So I am just so pleased to have you girls help me with a couple of recipes. And the first one's going to be pumpkin apple
muffin.
What kid likes a muffin?
Me.
Okay.
If you don't like muffins, and you're crazy.
You do like muffins. I no doubt you like muffins. And we're going to start with giving a cutting board. These are plastic. They're you can put them in the dishwasher, keep them very sanitized and clean. But one of the things I do when I'm working with kids is just spray a little area on the countertop, put down a paper towel, and then we're going to put these on top, and that's going to help the slippery. It's going to keep it secure.
It does keep it secure.
There it does. All right, so let's get started, girls. Anna Kate, we've got this tray for you.
Thank you.
And Juliet, this is yours. So the foundation of our muffins is going to be, what's this ingredient?
Flour.
Flour. So let's talk about yours. Anna Kate, what type of flour is that?
What wheat is it? Whole wheat.
Whole wheat flour. Okay? So it's whole wheat flour. And can you tell me what is the significance of whole wheat flour?
It's nutritious.
And why is it nutritious?
It has the wheat kernel in it.
It does. It does. It maintains the whole kernel, which has most of the nutrients. What about you, Juliet? What type of flour is this?
All-purpose flour.
All-purpose flour. And this is the one that we're most familiar with. And it has its place in baking, but we find that when we combine the two, we get a lot of extra nutrients as well as a great texture. So let's get started and let's start measuring our flour. Now our recipe calls for a cup and a fourth, both types of flours. So we're going to have a big bowl here, and you are going to be measuring off of here. We're going to get these dry ingredients measured first, and then we'll start doing some chopping. How about that?
Yes.
All right. So, and I took that away from you. There you go. Now again, when you're working with kids in the kitchen, it's real important to let them do the whole thing. There's really nothing they can't do, and this is what they find is really, really fun to do. And I know one of you have made reference to what the whole grain flour looks like. What was that? When you're doing that, what was?
Give me a haircut.
Yeah, you gave that a haircut. Okay, so we're going to talk about the leveling. They were comparing that to sand. So they were just like you were in a sandbox, and you're doing some measuring or making some things out of a cup. All right, so you got to do a cup and a half. So now you're doing the cup, okay? All right, so now when we measure a cup, as we look at Juliet now, she's putting it in very gently, very gently. See how she's just layering it in there, and she's making it overfilled. So that's going to give us the right amount of flour once she does what?
Give it a haircut.
Give it a haircut. So she's leveling that off, so we've got the exact measurement of 1 cup. All right, so we both have a cup and a fourth of both types of flour. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, so let's move on to our other dry ingredients. And they're right here in front of us, okay? So what I always love to do is have you do the smell taste. Because if we were just to use flour by itself, it would not have a lot of flavor, would it? So let's see what's going to go in our recipe. Juliet, let's let you smell yours first. What is that?
Nutmeg.
Nutmeg. Now, nutmeg does have a real strong flavor, and it has an also strong odor. So we won't use as much of that, but it really will add to the taste of the muffins. What about you, Annie Kate?
This might be cinnamon.
It is cinnamon. You're exactly right. And cinnamon, it goes a longer way. So we've got a teaspoon and a half going in on that one. And our final?
I think this is ginger.
Oh, and what do we like about ginger?
Gingerbread cookies.
Gingerbread cookies, houses. Yeah, yes, yes.
Gingerbread trees.
All right, so let's get busy and let's measure these. So we're going to have 1/2 teaspoon of our nutmeg. Here's our measuring level knife again. Okay. And we'll get your other things out of the way. And we're going to mix all those dry ingredients together. Okay, so this is a different one. We'll just wait on this one a second.
We both have that, right?
Now, Juliet, this is one that it's the active ingredient. Anna Kate, we talked about science in cooking, and Juliet, and that's what's really fun about getting into the kitchen, because we get to see interaction between ingredients. And what would happen to our muffins if they were just flat? Would they be very appealing or appetizing? Would you like that?
No, then they would be pumpkin apple muffin pancakes.
Okay, so how do we want our muffins?
We want them big.
Yeah, we want them to be big and tall.
They must rise.
So what is this ingredient that makes that happen?
Baking soda.
Baking soda. You're exactly right. And that active ingredient, that acid will react with our liquid in our recipe, and it's going to make them rise. So what about a teaspoon and 1/4 of our baking soda? She's going to level that off just the same way. And you're going to do the salt, Anna Kate. Just a little bit of salt. How much are we putting in that?
1/2 tablespoon.
1/2 teaspoon.
Oh.
Teaspoon. There we go. Got one more little one to go there. Got the 4th. There you go. All right. And you haven't done the ginger, so let's put our ginger in. If we didn't get that one measured, that's fine.
Also 1/2 tablespoon.
Teaspoon. It's really, kids have to learn to distinguish between the tablespoons and the teaspoons, and that's why this is really a good exercise. Exactly. Now, speaking of that, and speaking of science, we also do a little bit of math, don't we, when we talk about cooking?
Yeah.
And I wish everything was in whole numbers, but it's not. So what other math measurements do we use?
Fractions.
Fractions. Can you name some that we've used thus far with our spoons?
1/2. A whole. 1/4.
A 1/4, right? And there's a 1/3. I mean, all the fractions we put together because some recipes don't need the whole amount, do they?
No.
All right. So now we've got all of our dry ingredients in, and we're ready to chop. Let's chop, which is the fun part of any time in the kitchen. Now, what I love to do with kids is, let them do everything. But we want to be safe, and in order to be safe, we want to use some real safe tools. And one of this is a plastic knife. It's known as a lettuce knife. I think that's the correct title for it, but I use it with kids all the time when they're chopping apples or anything that, pears, any fruits, or even bread, any type of chopping. So we have our Granny Smith apples here, and we're just going to put some layers down here for you. And Juliet is going to demonstrate how she knows how to use that knife for us. There she goes. She just got that little action, and you know, again, just a really good, safe way for her to begin learning how to chop. So Anna Kate has a different type of utensil here, knife, and it's one that has a rocking motion, has a handle that is far away from the blade, And one of the things when you're older you have to remember with the other hand is what, Anna Kate?
The claw, so you don't, like you put it on the other side of whatever you're chopping, so you don't chop the little fingers.
That's right. We don't want to chop the little fingers. That's pretty important. So we've got a bowl. We're going to be able to put all these good apples in. But you'll see that this is just the fun part of the recipe. You know, it'd be one thing I could have these all pre-chopped, but it would be nearly as much fun. So this recipe called for Granny Smith. Lots of kids are not so fond of Granny Smith, but these two happen to be. What's the flavor of a Granny Smith apple?
Like sour.
Yeah, so, and both of you really like Granny Smith. It's a great cooking apple, so that's why it really works really well in muffins. But there's lots of other varieties that we like. And what are some of your favorites? We need just one more here. What are some more of your favorite apples?
There is Red Delicious, Golden Delicious.
What about you, Juliet? What's some of your favorites? Johnson, that's a good one.
Honey Crisp.
Honey Crisp, that
Oh,
usually
that's
always
my
ranks
favorite.
up there.
Lady.
Pink Lady, that's a good one too. So you know, this is a great time to go to your local orchard, see what's in season and what's ripe, and we have some great apple varieties in Kentucky, and so we want to make sure that we go to our orchards and support our local farmers. All right, so we did want to demonstrate how just easy it is to let kids chop in the kitchen. We will go on with the liquid part. And so we need a couple of eggs. So Anna Kate's going to demonstrate how to
Chop
our egg. Chop our eggs.
Chop it.
What do we do to eggs?
Crack it.
Crack our eggs. Now, I notice you're doing that in a separate bowl, Anna Kate. How come?
We could do it in a separate bowl because sometimes if you crack the egg, like when I do it at home when we make scrambled eggs, I sometimes get tiny chips in there, and we don't want chips in our muffins.
That's right. So this way it gives you a good idea to make sure that there's no shell in there and that it's also a good egg. You want to make sure that it's a very good egg. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So we're going to begin whisking this together. Oh, there we go. So we'll now, Juliet, this is canola oil, and these are great measuring tools. Instead of having to get down and eye the level, kids can look straight down, and there will be a line there when they write them out. Volume is achieved, and then it's very level with the printed numbers. So she's going to, on our oil, we need 1/2 cup. 1/2 cup.
This is very thick.
Okay, now you're going to begin with our measurement of our honey. There you go. You're going to use the same type of, so we're going to go ahead and put that in our bowl. Very good.
It looks like juice, apple juice. We need
Perfect.
a whole.
We need a cup, yep, a whole cup there of honey. Now, honey is the selected sweetener for the pumpkin apple muffins, and you know, it's a natural sweetener. It's has a great flavor, and Kentucky provides some of the best. This is local here, and we always love, again, to support our local farmers and producers. So the honey's going to go in here. Now that seems like a lot of honey, but this makes a lot of muffins. So you could have this recipe. We're going to have 18 huge muffins and maybe
Some small ones.
Yeah. So it makes quite a bit. She's going to do 1/4 cup more in there. Why, Juliet? Okay, that's good. And just go for your other fourth. And Juliet's going to very gently put that together. Now it's going to have a little bit more liquid texture to it.
It's hard. It makes it hard because it's sticky.
There you go. Gotta use that. You gotta have some muscles when you cook, don't you?
You must be strong.
Sure do. Just a fourth there. Just a little dab. All right. Now, sometimes we take a spatula and we get in here and flip it over. Okay. There you go. Just kind of scrape this down for you. Okay. All right. We always like to make sure all of our flour is dissolved so that we don't see any white or any of the brown whole wheat flour. Okay. I got this. And now we get to add
The apple.
the apple and the pumpkin.
Oh,
There you go. Let's put both of these in.
I'll put the pumpkin in.
Okay, and you do the apples, Juliet? How about that? Now we're going to see some action here with flavor.
Yeah.
Use that to get it all out. There you go. Now we're going to add some volume. It's going to add some more liquid to the base. That's good. Great. There you go. And now the pumpkin goes in. Again, we're using canned pumpkin today. You can buy a pumpkin pie small pumpkin. You know, the jack-o'-lanterns don't work for cooking, but you can buy that. You can cube it, you can roast it, mash it. But when I'm cooking with kids and we're just cooking on the spur of the moment, this is often what we do. All right, let's give that a good swirl in there, girls.
Combo.
Yeah, you might use this. And we'll just let them both go at it. And we're gonna get that good batter.
It smells good.
It does smell good. But this is a Kentucky
Quesadilla.
plated up Kentucky Proud recipe. And we have over 100 of these online. You can just go to that website or you can call the extension office. And we are featuring lots of fall produce with our plated up Kentucky Proud recipes. So be sure and do that. Now, so let's stop. I think we're done there. And we're going to give both of you, I just took away, both of you a scoop. And
Ice cream scoopers.
yeah, they work really well for when you want to put a when you want to fill muffins.
I don't get
Okay.
how they work.
So
So you gotta press that down to like let it go in the pan.
yeah. All right, so here you go. Let's see if you can reach in there, get a scoop. And you know what? If you don't have one of those, you know what works really well? It's just a plain spoon. So we just happen to have these. And don't get them quite, get them level. Level, just level, not over the top. So sometimes you can even level that off like that, and that's usually just the right amount.
Yep.
There you go. Oh, good job. Good job. All right, so I think everybody gets the idea of this, how easy that was for them to mix it up. So we're going to get on to our next recipe right now. So we've got time to share one of your favorite snacks that's after school or whatever. Okay? I want to share one of your all's favorite recipes.
Quesadillas.
Yeah, they love this one. This is a real
Game changer. It's delicious.
in the refrigerator. I think we've got our cream cheese. So, okay. So, both of you are going to have new mats. Okay? Oh, there we go. Let's change your mats out. All right.
They're different colors.
Now, you're going to take your quesadilla. And you're going to take it and
Number.
cream cheese.
Number.
Yeah, and you're going to take these knives this time, and you're going to, what do we do first? We're going to fold it in half.
So you can make a crease.
They're going to fold it in half, and they're actually going to put some whipped cream cheese on half of the whole wheat tortilla. So again, we're using whole wheat just because it has added nutrients. Now, what do you often call this, girls, when you do this? What is it? What do we refer to this as?
Oh, glue.
The glue of the recipe, because we want everything to stick together, and this is what's going to be on our foundation. Good job. So this is whipped. It's light. It's just enough to hold our apples. So here we go. You're going to put some apples on now, so you can just take. Yeah, you can take your hands. These are yours. So okay, you get you some, Juliet, or Anna Kate. We're going to speed this along. Let's go. All right, and next we're going to sprinkle some sugar and cinnamon combination. We just put that together. And look at Juliet's technique there. You just do a little tap, tap, tap. And she's sprinkling it very lightly on the apples. Doing a great job. Excellent. Okay, that's good. And then we're going to top it all off with Havarti cheese. Now, any cheese is okay, but this cheese melts really, really smoothly, and it just adds to the richness of the recipe. It just it doesn't take very much heating in our skillet to do that. Now we're just going to flip it over. We place it in our skillet. Okay, there we go.
Nice and gently.
There we go.
So it doesn't
And if an apple
spill.
sneaks out, it doesn't matter. We can stick it back in for sure. Oh, great. Great job, girls. Now we want to show everybody just exactly what things look like when they're finished. So first of all, here's our muffins. And they look pretty delicious. And here comes your quesadillas.
I'm gonna eat one.
And I know you want to eat one. They always want to eat one when they're finished. So dive in.
Yes.
Dive in, girls. And again, this has just been an example of how much fun it is to get your kids in the kitchen, to let them experiment, let them make suggestions, shop with you, and when they participate, when they're a part of it, look at the results. They're going to be the recipients. They're going to eat it, okay? And it's filled with lots of good nutrition. So we really do welcome you to contact your Fayette County Cooperative Extension Office. I am Dinah Doggett. I'm the Family and Consumer Sciences Extension there. And we're looking forward to many more kids in the kitchen experiences. That's a wrap, girls.